Vocabulary from Al-Baqarah verse 94. Darun, diyarun. Home. Khalisatun. Pure. Tamanna, yatamanna. To wish. Now let's turn to Al-Baqarah verse 94. If you want to go over the text on your own, feel free to pause the video. Now let's go through it together. We begin with qul, which is the imperative verb meaning say. Here, Allah is commanding the Prophet ﷺ to speak to the Jews at that time. Up next is in meaning if. And then we have kanat with the ta suffix with sukun on it, which is 3fs form of kana. A feminine verb is used because the following subject is feminine. Moving on, we get lakum, which is la plus kum, meaning for you. Up next is ad-daru from the root del well ra, meaning the home. We saw the plural form of this verb diyarun in verse 84 and 85, and it's in nominative as the subject. The next word is al-akhiratu from the root hamza kha ra, meaning the hereafter. It's functioning as the adjective for ad-daru, so it also takes the nominative case. So ad-darul akhiratu means the home of the hereafter. Moving on to the second line, we have ainda meaning with or near. Next word, Allahi, is in genitive because of ainda. Moving on, we get khalisatan from the root kha lam sat, meaning pure. It's an accusative, so we can translate it kind of like an adverb meaning purely or exclusively. Next we get min duni, meaning without or apart from. The following word is an-nasi, meaning the people. It's in genitive forming on idafa, meaning apart from people. So to recap from the beginning, قُلْ إِن كَانَتْ لَكُمُ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ عِندَ اللَّهِ خَالِصَةً مِّن دُونِ النَّاسِ means, say, if the home of the hereafter with Allah is purely for you apart from people. Moving on, we get فَتَمَنَّوْا, which is fa plus تَمَنَّوْا, meaning then wish for. Tamannaw is from the root mim nun ya, and the last radical was dropped because it's a weak letter. And we saw the word from the same root in verse 78. Here, amaniya meant wishful thinking. Coming back, let's talk about the verb form. The ta prefix and the shata over the second radical indicate form 5 verb. And this form can be either 3MP perfect or 2MP imperative. Let me explain what I mean by that. Let's examine one feature that appears in Form 5 2MP imperative verbs. In the mini grammar lesson series, I explained the general guidelines for forming imperative verb, so let's apply these rules to a Form 5 verb. Number 1. Start with the jussive form, which is derived from the imperfect. The 2MP imperfect conjugation in Form 5 is tetefa'aluna, and the 2MP jussive form is tetefa'alu. Now that we have our jussive form, let's move on to number 2. Remove the ta prefix, and we get tefa'alu. Moving on to number 3, the remaining part doesn't start with a sukun, so we don't need to add a hamza to wasl. Therefore, tefa'alu is our 2MP imperative form. But interestingly, the 3MP perfect conjugation in Form 5 is also tafa'alu. Why does this happen? If you look at the stem vowel, that is, the vowel on the second radical of each of these forms, they all share the same stem vowel, the fatha. That's why 2MP imperative form and 3MP perfect form end up being identical. If you recall the stem vowel chart that I covered in the mini grammar lesson on the 10 verb forms, most of them had different stem vowels for the perfect tense and the imperfect tense. Fatha for the perfect and kasra for the imperfect. But in form 5, 6, and 9, it was fatha in both tenses. So we can infer that the same phenomenon occurs in all these three forms. Coming back, as I just explained, this form can be either 2NP imperative or 3NP perfect. But in this case, the context shows that it's the 2NP imperative, meaning wish for. Our next word is al-mauta from the root mim well ta, meaning the death. It's an accusative as the direct object. Next we have in, meaning if. And then we have kuntum, which is kana in 2NP form as indicated by the tum suffix, so it means you are. And finally, we get sadiqin from the root sod del gof, meaning truthful. It's an accusative as the predicate of kana. So this sentence, فَتَمَنَّوُا الْمَوْتَ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ, means then wish for death if you are truthful. Alright, let's recap from the beginning. In English, we get say if the home of the hereafter with Allah is purely for you apart from people. Then wish for death if you are truthful.